My friend Gianna Empty Dish. That's what I say. Her last name is Philpott. I cracked myself up. This first water, but I was gonna. What were we doing? Yes, I was going to ask you to pick a zodiacal sign and a planet, one of the visible planets. So that means the sun, the moon, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, or Saturn. Maybe you could do Chiron. Maybe Pallas Athena. So pick one of those, any of those planets, and pick a zodiacal sign. I'm spitting and drinking lots of water. Gianna's really impressed by this. I just drank a whole one of these. Watch me. She said it hurts her. And I'm like, oh Jesus, then I definitely have to do it.
You're gonna be waterlogged.
My Virgo risingness. Okay.
Oh my god,
Okay, but pick a planet and pick a sign.
Let's see. So planet first.
Jesus is the water of life. What? Any planet. Yes. I can't believe you're on 4 times as much as me.
Neptune.
I knew it. I knew you were going to pick Neptune. I have to, too. I have to pick Neptune. Okay. Neptune is the planet.
Okay.
Now pick a constellation. One of the 12. Any of them.
Aquarius.
Okay. Now pick a house. 1 through 12.
11.
Neptune was discovered at the same time as the image, the camera, the photograph. So Neptune, since it was discovered around that time, some astrologers decided to look at what happened in our real life at that moment and then sort of like draw connections. So like it's like historians and also storytellers coming together to play this game, this archetypal game. Neptune is said to represent dissolving, illusion, mystery, the thing beyond. And because we can't see it, she still chose one beyond a visible planet, which I realized I could have made her pick a different one. But we're going unconscious. We're going beyond what we can see. Neptune is far away. Neptune is not an ancient astrological thing because we didn't know it existed then. Maybe we did. The significations of Neptune, maybe some people like the Buddha or Jesus or like really profound people kind of realized that there was these unconscious things going on. Wait a minute. Shamans, ancient witches, all of these people have been around for centuries. We all know that life is sometimes a lie, an illusion, mystery. We have fantasy, we have reality. Neptune is all of these things. It's said to connect to all of those things. Cool. So it's really hard to put Neptune down, but let's think about it in another way. Neptune is the sea. It's like the gods, the mysteries, right? So we're thinking like Greek or Roman kind of significations, because again, astrology has those myths associated with it too. It also has science. It's a game. It's an archetypal force. Neptune is something that you can't spot, you can't pinpoint. It's floating around. And right now, where is Neptune for me? Neptune's in one of the most powerful points in my chart. So there's the ascendant, which was where the sun was rising. And then there's the descendant, where the sun was setting. Right now, in my birth chart, based off of where this constellation was when I came into this world, this experience, Neptune was exactly opposite. Where the sun was rising. Now, Neptune is where the sun is setting. So that means how allegedly I partner with others is being dissolved. It also covers addictions, hallucinogens, escapist drugs. I am on cannabis right now. You trusted your instincts somehow. Even though I gave you the options, you picked a different one, you naughty witch. You naughty witch. Anyways, Neptune. That's Neptune. Do you feel you have an idea of the type of significations of just that planet that I'm bringing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you said in Aquarius. Aquarius is the dead of winter. For the northern hemisphere, at least, which is more or less astrologicals. Sorry, Australia. the idea of Aquarius, an idea that continues, is something that I say about Aquarius. It's a steady wind. It is Jadis from Chronicles of Narnia. It's cold. It's calculating. Saturn is at home there. It's restrictive. It's limiting. It's practical. It wants it to last. And sometimes those ideas that are so committed, sometimes those revolutionary ideas are a bit stubborn, a bit intense, but so that signification starts to build. You start to feel this cold, wintry steadiness. And then you also have to realize it's associated with the image of the water bearer. It's someone bringing the water. It's a daily act. It's a devoted. It's the idea, the knowledge of what must be done in order to make it through. That's what Aquarius says from me to you. Ideas, wind blowing. It's like it's a bit. It gets the idea that it's peculiar. Modern astrologers think Uranus rules Aquarius. And Uranus is a slightly visible thing. I tend to go with the visible.
Sorry.
Uranus is a slightly visible thing. It is.
I'm a 3-year-old. I'm sorry.
Well, no. You're also stoned. Not that you can feel it. Anyways, so I tend to go though that Uranus is. Sometimes it's called a co-ruler of it, but I'm like, okay, wait. Saturn was ruling Aquarius and Capricorn before. It ruled both of those. And that happened for a long time. And a part of me is like, okay, if we're going to play this game of astrology, doesn't it make sense to go back as long as possible? Like, doesn't it make sense to think about it like, all of a sudden, new astrologers come along, these planets that we can only see with telescopes. And they're like, oh yeah, that's in charge of this now. And I'm like, what? Like, this game is one of history. And I love the astrology podcast because, and he's actually messaged me. He was encouraging, and I feel like I was encouraging to him. I feel like I'm ready. I'm ready to insert my ideas. And the way that I did that was by being blunt and direct. Because I think I'm bringing something to astrology that's valuable. I want in on this storytelling conversation, and I want the way that I approach it, which is like, hey, this is not about it being true. This is not about faith. This is about self-examination. Like, I want to bring the art of mindfulness and meditation and self-analysis to the stars. I think that would be very helpful and something that anyone can do. And I think there are ways to approach it that are good, and people who might approach it sort of with beliefs and shit like that. Maybe a bit nuts. But, so, do you kind of get a feel for Aquarius?
Mm-hmm.
So, you're an Aquarius rising. So that
Yes,
kind of, so that's you. The cold, I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to get it done. Kind of stubborn. Sometimes lost in your imaginary castle in the clouds. Because the idea is not necessarily the real. Even if you really mastered a concept of how to do something, and you know how to, like, perfectly make a drink. Like, you know how to get it down to, like, the most meticulous science, and then you see people kind of just more or less not complying to what you know is good and what works. The idea. Sometimes there's some dissonance there. I'm about to sneeze. I don't want to sneeze on you.
Well, thank you.
Do you see what's happening when I drink water? Like, immediately, of course there's the cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you need more water?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you more or less hydrated more of the time than I am? So,
Probably not. I'm just used to dehydration.
I also had the Oreo cookie, which, I mean, I appreciate you getting them. Back in the day, I used to eat eat a lot more of those kind of things. And she thought of me and got me vegan cookies, because Oreos are indeed vegan. But that's one of those examples where vegan doesn't necessarily mean healthy, you know?
True.
But it is Christmas. But I also
Did you
feel
see I got you like the small pack and not the family pack?
the idea that I had this cookies I will say this cookie is powering this experience, but it would give me anxiety if I wasn't doing something. If Gianna wasn't here, like supporting and allowing this energy to come out, very likely would result in an anxiety attack. That's why I have to be very careful with sugar and know that I'm gonna have a person to watch me. Like before a show, some people do cocaine. I do an Oreo.
Oh, good Lord.
I'm serious. I'm serious. What are you guys doing?
Walking the puppies and
I was telling Gianna that it looked like a painting out there, like one of those Norman Rockwells, and Dad's tucking in his shirt. It's all there.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. It is. We're shorts, and your dad has his shirt off, and it's Christmas Day.
Merry Christmas, climate change.
Global warming.
I mean, is it happening or is it not? What do you think? In your lifetime, has it changed too much, or is this just one of the cycles?
I don't know. It's like I remember it being really cold sometimes, warm sometimes. This is the most recent one. It's getting hot.
Yes. This is real life. See, to me, this is better than a film. But maybe it's because I love attention. I don't know. But I'm kind of Marilyn Monroeing it. I think it's funny that I went and like touched her gravestone. I didn't do it on purpose, but it was like, oh, Marilyn Monroe died. I don't know if she's even really in there, or if someone like, would she be like Cleopatra or something? Like, is she like a modern iconoclast? Iconoclast. I really love that word. Icon last. Anyways, now let's add Neptune and Aquarius together. So you have the steady idea, but also illusion. So someone with Neptune and Aquarius may be living in a dream world, like the Matrix. I'm definitely getting Matrix vibes for Neptune and Aquarius, because it's like, what's real, what's true, what idea should you stick to, what's lasting, what'll really get you through. Neptune and Aquarius. Neptune is also associated with godly experiences, though, and like divine and transcendence and humanitarianism. It can also be those things. Neptune and Aquarius. We're allegedly starting the age of Aquarius, but I'm trying to think Neptune and Aquarius. Strong illusions. Powerful fantasies. Also, the ability to like erode ideas. It could be the opposite thing. The signification of it could be like slippery, strong wind currents. I'm getting the idea of like when you are opening the trappings of a machine and you see all those wires. You know, it is affecting you.
Like, I'm trying to follow where you're going.
No, yeah, you're sleepy.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? How you've had Oreos as well. You had one or two,
Mhm.
right? And you had cannabis. 4 times as much? Ish. And I'm like, I'm having anxiety to the point, well, but I mean, when I say I'm having anxiety, I'm having a lot of energy. And if that energy is not channeled, like right now, I'm going to have to get up and stretch for sure, because there's stuck energy. I'm having to drink water, also ramble on, spit up whatever this is. I love how consistently you held the camera.
I was
See?
just like,
I got you. I think that there's no real wrong for anyone. At the same time as I think you need to do exactly what I say. Isn't that amazing? How both of those sort of seem true? Neptune, show us Neptune. Show us Neptune in Aquarius. This is so Neptune, because this is like illusion. This is art, because Neptune's
Mhm.
associated with art, right? Gateway to the liminal spirits. Oh my god. I'll show you Neptune in Aquarius. Laura Tempest Zakroff. Let's add mystical powers. It's so cool. These are beautiful. Beautiful. So pretty. This is my Christmas present. Okay. So, show me Neptune in Aquarius. Neptune in Aquarius. This whole act is Neptune in Aquarius. The images. The ideas. The fictions. It is a fiction, but can fictions be helpful? Can fictions inspire us? I mean, I've enjoyed movies. And since I'm here on this earth, is trying to make joy possible a good thing? I think so, but it's also such a temporary thing. It's always changing. So if you're trying to hold on to joy, you're fucked. I hate this goddamn place. Is it true? I hate this goddamn place. I actually, like right now, my friend is holding my phone recording me ramble. The sun is shining through the window. There's a beautiful color palette. Like, it is stunning. Like, blue and white clouds, purple distant mountains, the dead, not even dead, just the leaves that got naked, the trees that shed their clothes, and then you've got this green line, and then this swath, this paintbrush of orange-white grass. It's amazing. Like, it's truly amazing. I want you to, like, move. Let's move with me. I think it will make this better. Do it. Dance for me.
dance for me, monkey
Dance for
dance.
me. Dance for me. Appreciate the process and grow your truth.
Oh
Get
my
up here. Appreciate your process and grow with your truth. And I will align with your inner compass and sync with the cycles. Align with your inner compass. And what if this is my inner compass?
Oh, good lord, no.
Stand up. Be a videographer. One day, if I'm gonna hire you as my videographer one day, if I ever get rich.
Why? I suck at this.
I don't think you do. Stand up.
Why?
Because I want you to follow me around. I want you to act as if this is cinema. I'm teaching people things. I'm teaching you things.
What are you teaching me?
Okay. Show me Neptune in Aquarius. Neptune in Aquarius. Neptune in Aquarius. Come get the cards. Screenshot. Use your instincts. Oh, this is a good one. Watch like the shadows and move it into the light.
What?
You see how the light does cool things to it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what would be the coolest angle? Mushroom. Get a close up. I've got to go read it. I've got to go read it now. Thank you to the artist and to the designers of my iPhone. Thank you to Gianna's Oreo that is powering this experience.
Mm-hmm.
Corbin. Okay, mushroom. Where is mushroom? Oh, look at the artist. Oh, that's kind of the hairdo I'm going for. Ish. We'll see if I actually stick to it. So,
Oh, so that's why it's long.
I'm growing it out. Yeah, you can switch to my hair now. It looks a bit like a mushroom. Tell me, oh my god, it's the last card in the deck. That makes a lot of sense, honestly. Mushrooms are the last straw. Fungi are not plants. Capture the life of the moment. Use your eyes on the screen and move at the same time. Move with me. Mushroom. Fungi are not plants or animals, but are in a category all their own. There are many kinds of fungi, but we're going to focus in on one that has a long connection with witchery. Mushrooms thrive in the darkness, growing from transforming, decomposing materials. Essentially, they create life from the most basic particles of death, and sometimes even carry death, or at the least, the doorway to it, on the spores There is an old proverb that says all mushrooms are edible, but some only once. That's so good. You see? That's fucking hilarious. This is a piece of art that I told Jana would one day be worth millions. What if by recording it now, if one day I become famous, this really is worth millions, even though I just did it in a dorm room? But I feel like art for me is always a way of like expressing. Didn't you pay for this canvas? You got me these gifts. You literally gifted me with things. You were like, Caleb, fucking paint. Like, play guitar. Like, do something, you bitch. Like, it's... And then this book. She's definitely the best gift giver I've ever experienced. Okay. Further adding to their mystic nature, many species of mushrooms seemingly sprout up overnight out of nowhere, spawning much lore over the centuries about spirit workings. Messages, friend or foe. Sometimes it's hard to determine based by appearances who may be good for you and who's not. Follow your gut here. It won't lead you astray. That's a hard one for me to believe. For whatever reason. But, well, it's just... If following our guts didn't lead us astray, then why are there so many problems with humans? Why are we doing so many things that seem so stupid? But I guess my responsibility is to me. And if other people aren't following their gut because of fear, but again, it also feels like a burden. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, follow your gut. Well, what if my gut isn't logical, or I can't explain it? Or, like, what if I shouldn't be, you know, like, what if I'm doing something wrong? What if my gut is wrong? Can my gut be wrong? What is a gut? What does that mean? How do I follow my stomach? Oh, well, I don't know. Are you following your gut? There are strange and unpredictable surprises ahead. The best thing you can do is keep an open mind. Strange and unpredictable surprises. I don't feel like I'm keeping an open mind if I'm bringing negativity or even positivity to it. A truly open mind probably doesn't do either. Like every time I get on a plane, it could be a surprise. I could sit by someone who has COVID. I could sit somebody who has a screaming baby. I could sit by someone who's a film director. What if on my way home I sat next to my husband? Or one of them? I'm just saying, I don't know. What if any situation could be something else? But I don't want to lie to people. I don't want to tell people that it's just going to get better and like, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. I'm like, that's a really cool thing, Jesus, but so is the kingdom of hell, it seems. At least that's my experience. What may seem to be an isolated circumstance is not. It's part of a larger behavioral or systematic pattern that you haven't seen the whole of yet. There are more clues brewing just beneath the surface, like the interconnectionness of everything. I'm so grateful for mushrooms in many ways, and I have definitely tried them. And then it was the conclusion. My first card was the last card. That has happened to me with the Animal Spirit deck and this deck. The first will be last, and the last shall be first. What is that expression? I think sometimes people interpret it to mean like the least of these will be the most honored. Like, I can see that, but couldn't it be interpreted in so many ways? Because what if the last gets to go first means like I get to eat first at the dinner party? I often always do. Not that I'm in the place of honor, but this is a really cool card. Really cool deck. So Neptune and Aquarius, do you feel like you have a vibe of it? Enough where you could, I know that's the thing is there's such big things. There's such big windows, they could be so much. I think Aquarius rules the ankles. So it's, it's even embodied.
I'm just creaking right now.
Yeah, that you know what I mean? This may all be part of it. Like, if this is Neptune, Aquarius, and then the house is what?
Oh, I said 11.
Okay. So we're bringing all those significations to the 11th house, which is friends, networks, groups, organizations. We're Neptune in Aquarius right now. You're my friend. I also have Chiron there, but I also have... See, I'm doing a thing, sorry. Projecting my own... there's a lot of ideas and a lot of associations, but right now I'm trying to like present them to you in a way that more or less is on focus. But I really need someone else to kind of be doing it. Because I'm very... I need a specific thing. That's what a client reading is they say, these are the things, and then they ask questions, and then I'm like, maybe something like this, or have you looked at this? But right now, I'm just, people aren't seeking me out for that experience very often. It's happening sometimes, so I'm telling people that I do it. This is how I like market what I want to do, is I just say, hey, I enjoy doing this. Like right now, you enjoy driving. So it's like, maybe you can find a driving someone rich and famous. What if it was me? What if I suddenly had enough money to like, would I really need a driver? Like, where would I need to be going? I mean, to employ people with money, that's a good thing to do. But I wouldn't really want to buy a new car. I would want to buy a safe car. That's affordable. Like the cheapest car that does what I want in the least environmentally negative way. Does it have to go really fast? I mean, maybe everyone should experience the joy of driving fast, but like, I don't know, that one just seems a bit like, not for me, but then there's probably some people who really like race car driving, and it makes them feel alive, and it's cool, and I don't know, maybe they should be astronauts or something. Like, where can we put that energy? Or wanting to feel the exhilaration of life, like, maybe they like paraglide or something. So, illusion, dissolving Neptune, eroding boundaries, serving humanity, creating spells in the sign of Aquarius, which is strong ideas, steady lasting rituals, things that must be done, things that you have to carry out, you have to drink water. And also the 11th house of groups, friends, networks, organizations. It's also the house of good spirits, of joy, not of joy, excuse me. It's in connection. It's also up there. It's something that you see. People see the groups you're a part of, the places that you're connected to. So I would say someone who has Neptune in Aquarius in the 11th house, which this could be a YouTube video, this is great. They will experience illusions when it comes to friendships. Friendships is about humanitarian service. Like that's where they're gonna meet. That's where they're gonna have their true friends, and like being quirky and doing cool shit, maybe even. There's a little quirkiness associated. Like finding your nerd fellowship and just like enjoying connection with others that are doing very specialized, specific, fantastical thinking. Maybe. I don't know. What could they try? What would that say about them? I mean, I think on the good side of it, it means that they'll be connected to causes that serve the world, that serve all of humankind. That's the humanitarian side of it. The negative side is they'll be caught up in things that are more or less complete fictions and have no real basis in reality outside of being a creative expression. But more or less they're... I don't know if it's... To say that it's untrue would be fair, because our emotions and our illusions don't come from fictions. But they might not be based in this reality, which is kind of fictional. Like, so like for instance, who's a person that's behaved in a way that you think is sort of wrong or bad or negligent? Can you think of someone who's just doing something that you're like, that's just not very smart? I mean, I'm sure you're doing things that are not very smart. Me too. But I'm just saying, is there an example of like a celebrity, like for instance, I'm thinking of some of the people who have like Noah Puckerman from Glee. I think he killed himself. Didn't he? Puck, his character?
Yeah.
Because he got caught with like child pornography or something.
Oh god.
You know what I mean? So it's like, is he wrong for doing that? Well, I mean, let's just come out with it. Like, That's creepy and bad, and we want to stop it. It's every part of us is like, ooh, children? Like, we got to protect the children.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. But he was operating from some kind of place that was real for him. He was behaving that way for reasons. People don't come to that place if they were nurtured and supported in a healthy way. It's hard to believe that someone just like willy-nilly ended up doing something like that. Something that's actually like pretty animalistic in like other species. It wouldn't be, I don't even know if it's possible in other species, but it's also like, 14-year-olds get pregnant. That just happened to my friend's friend. So it's like, and that's actually not that old compared to like our old life expectancy, which was 35. I mean, men would just, hopefully it was consensual, but when we were a little more tribal animalistic and women were more like cattle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad things are different. You have to pee?
No.
Are you gonna take a nap?
Yeah.
You're feeling it, aren't you?
Well, I'm tired.
Well, no, that's what it is. You're feeling it. Thank you.